Now, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be at the forefront of the yoga celebrations on Wednesday. As the world observes International Day of Yoga, Prime Minister Modi is scheduled to lead the celebrations at the UN headquarters later in the day. During his ongoing US state visit, that is.
हमें योग के जरिए हमारे अंतर विरोधों को खत्म करना है। हमें योग के जरिए हमारे गतिरोधों और प्रतिरोधों को भी खत्म करके रहना है। हमें एक भारत श्रेष्ठ भारत की भावना को विश्व के सामने एक उदाहरण के रूप में प्रस्तुत करना है।
According to reports, participants from more than 180 countries will be observing the 9th year of Yoga Day celebrations with the Indian leader in New York.
आज संगीत दिवस।
Meanwhile, in India, several top leaders marked the day with community yoga sessions all over the country. Indian President Draupadi Murmu and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh led public celebrations of Yoga Day.
अपनी अंगुलियों को आपस में मिलाते हुए अपनी कलाई सांस लेते हुए घुटने सीधे करें एक बार पुनः दोहराएं।
Every year, International Yoga Day centers around the theme chosen by the United Nations, which highlights a specific aspect of yoga and its impact on the societies. The theme for 2023 is Yoga for Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Pardon me, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The term Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam relates and translates to the world is one family. The theme brings out yoga's role in bringing the world together. UN Chief Antonio Guterres also spoke on the importance of yoga.
एक बार पुनः श्वास भरते हुए गर्दन ऊपर उठाइए, श्वास छोड़ते हुए गर्दन नीचे लगाइए। आराम आराम से शनि शनि गर्दन को झटका नहीं देना, स्लोली रिलैक्स। आइए मध्य में सामान्य स्थिति।
Yoga offers a haven of calm. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. It connects us to our planet, which so badly needs our protection. And it reveals our common humanity, helping us to understand that despite our differences, we are one. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet, and ourselves.
And for more on this, we are being joined by Siddhant Sibul, our principal diplomatic correspondent from New York. Welcome to the broadcast, Siddhant. I want to start off by asking, how is the mood on the ground in New York?
Well, I'm standing right inside the UN headquarters, and this is the North Lawn behind me, where you can see it has been now yoga matted with yellow yoga mats all around and flags of all the UN countries. And behind me you can also see the podium where the Indian Prime Minister is going to make a short speech and of course lead the Yoga Day celebrations. Lot of excitement. While I was entering inside, I saw a lot of Indian Americans trying to get in. There is a lot of security check, given this is a highly secured area, but essentially enthusiasm, excitement, you can take any adjective to describe the situation right now. And it's still very early morning, approximately 6:30 a.m. here in New York, and these celebrations start at 8 a.m. So I do expect a lot of people coming in. In fact, the media is also coming in. I do expect the entire enclosure to be full of people very soon. So the excitement levels are really high, and a lot of anticipation as well as to who will be present, because we know the diplomats of all the countries are expected to participate, but also a lot of influencers and perhaps Hollywood celebrities as well.
Right, Siddhant, yoga has become like a soft power for India, not just US or India. We are getting visuals from across the globe, people performing yoga. How is that playing out in terms of, how is that being received by the global leaders?
Well, Well, yoga has increased its popularity in leaps and bounds. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, from this very location at the United Nations General Assembly in 2014, during his first address at the Prime Minister, gave the idea of Yoga Day. And since then, we know that the celebration has increased in every sense possible. We have seen visuals of people doing yoga from deserts to on the decks of ships to, of course, cities to also other geographical areas. But essentially, when it comes to this year's Yoga Day, while it happens at the UN headquarters led by the Indian Prime Minister, we will see its popularity being added by the popularity of the Indian Prime Minister. But largely, the focus today all through the globe has been how people have been doing yoga. We have seen visuals all through the day coming from Asia, Europe, and now it's time for the Americas. As America wakes up, Canada, United States, other Latin American countries, we will see visuals of people doing yoga and taking part in this grand celebration.
Absolutely, Siddharth. Now let's shift our focus from yoga to diplomacy a little. If you could take us through how is Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's itinerary looking right after the yoga event?
Well, the Indian Prime Minister, when he arrives, the big focus remains on yoga diplomacy. It's a half-a-day event here, and by 10:30, the Indian Prime Minister leaves New York. Then, of course, the focus shifts to Washington, where Indian Prime Minister essentially will be taking part in hard diplomacy, but also celebration of the relationship. We know that later today in Washington, the Indian Prime Minister will be hosted by the US President for a dinner, and then, of course, state banquet happens tomorrow. But largely, the outcomes, something that we have been talking for a long time, are expected to be in range of issues like defense, like critical technologies, and also Indian Prime Minister's other meeting as well, whether it's business leaders, whether it is diaspora. And we saw that star-studded, to use the phrase, meeting between Elon Musk and the Indian Prime Minister. He's speaking to media later on saying that he's a fan of Prime Minister Modi, and this is something that's going to really stick on for a pretty long time. He's keen to come to India. He's keen to bring Tesla to India as humanly as possible, to use his phrase. So, lot of outcomes, whether it's diplomacy, whether it is yoga diplomacy, or whether it is meeting with the business leaders. But we do expect some key announcements in Washington tomorrow as the Prime Minister meets with the US President Joe Biden.
All right, thank you for getting us all those insights, Siddharth, from Ground Zero. We will be coming back to you as and when the International Yoga Day event begins at the United Nations headquarters. Thank you for getting us all those insights.